Have you ever received a call asking for your personal banking information? Knowing how to respond is important, and it's the best way to protect yourself. Scammers often use tactics like spoofing to trick people into giving away sensitive details, and these schemes can target anyone. We spoke with Christina, a CCU Florida member service center assistant manager, to explain how these scams work and share tips for keeping your information safe. What advice would you give if someone is unsure whether a call that they're getting is legitimate?
The first thing I would do is hang up the phone, do not provide any information to the caller, and then call us so they can verify the information and make sure that we actually are who we say we are.
What are those signs that you've seen that like fraud is actually happening?
You can tell if somebody's logging in at a different IP address, or if you notice some transactions that might not be like regular for this member. We would reach out to the member. That's a good way we can verify with the member, did you make this change on your account? And if they say no, then we know that it's potential fraud.
What's the first thing a member should do if they think that they've already shared sensitive information?
Definitely call us immediately so we can block any sensitive information, such as putting a lock or a hold on their online banking. We can close the debit card and reissue a new debit card. And we can also change the account information, like their account number. That way, you know, if somebody does have their account information, we're changing it to something completely different, and that way it protects the member.
Is there anything that people should never do during a suspicious interaction?
I had a member that actually received a phone call, but then that person on the other line told them, I'm going to send you a text message and you need to click on this link. And immediately they felt really weird. And so they said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to call back, because we have had, you know, people say, I've clicked on a link that is fraudulent, and then all their information is shared. Another thing is immediately believing that person is us because they say something that it just makes them feel like it's us, and they just immediately provide that information.
Not being suspicious.
Like not being suspicious.
You need to be suspicious kind of all the time.
Correct.
Phone calls
Correct.
These days. Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's members out there that are not aware of the fraud. They just provide the information, and unfortunately, they do get attacked. This is what we want to prevent.
Can you share a story about somebody who successfully avoided fraud that you can think of?
I had a member, he was actually on the phone with the other person on the other line, and he put them on hold, and he called our call center reps, and I got him, and he said, they're currently in my online banking. I can see this happening. I can see changes happening at the same time. I did not provide them any information, but they have my phone number, and somehow they, got my information. So I was able to block his online banking immediately, so that IP address could not get in anymore. We stopped those charges that were going to potentially happen.
How can members verify that they're speaking to someone from CCU?
The first thing that they can do is make sure that they're calling us directly. The phone number is on our website, on any of our business cards, and on our emails for member services. When they get somebody on the phone, we verify everybody with verification questions. So if we are not asking those questions, they might want to be a little suspicious. But we can always provide, we don't say where we're located, but we can provide information about if we are a community credit union.
How often is this happening? Is this something that's happening all year round, or does it really ramp up throughout the holidays? When should people be more alert than other times?
I'd say it happens all the time.
Okay.
And a lot of times we don't even know that it's happening, and it's happening a lot more lately than it is, in previous years. But definitely around the holidays, there's a lot of, holiday fraud.
Yeah.
People, purchasing, or, selling things on, eBay or whatnot. And, there's a lot of fraud out there, but that's why, we put our measures in.
What would you say is the best way to help protect their personal information?
Definitely don't provide your online banking information to anybody. The online banking information, their passwords, their username, is really only good for the primary member. We only have one login for everybody on each account, which makes that easier. But also change your password, once in a while, because if you don't change your password, someone's going to remember that password and be able to get in all the time. Change it every month or just take those steps to make sure that no one's getting into the online banking. Another thing is don't write your PIN number down anywhere. Make sure that it's a number that you'll remember. And if you forget it, immediately call us and we can update that PIN number. If you lose your debit card, immediately call us so we can close out that debit card. But the best thing is it's just to protect your debit card and your personal information, and don't provide any of that information out.
So a lot of times I think people get calls and they sort of feel pressured, right? There's like this sense of urgency. What do you think is the best way to kind of respond to those? Obviously, you're going to say hang up the phone. But for people who are really, really feeling that pressure, how can we kind of like ease their mind to let them know that it is okay to just hang up?
I would say listen to cues. You know, if you hear a different sounding, like sound in the background, or, you know, sounds like more like a computer or things like that, that might be something to think about. This doesn't seem right. Like, you've already called in to us before. Does it sound like a normal phone rep? And just that gut feeling. If you feel like something isn't right, 9 out of 10 times, it's probably not right.